Yeah, because I can't do anything.
Oh, there you go.
I'll be the
Hey, how you guys doing? We started off. Already know how to do. It's your boy Drew, from LA and everything. Got my girl Erica over there. What you doing, Erica?
Yeah, how are you?
Doing good. We got my boy Andre. What's happening, bro?
What's poppin', y'all? It's your main boy Andre from the 214.
We can't leave without forgetting our brother Worthington. What's good, Worthington? How you doing, man?
I'm doing well on a different device.
Yes, sir. That's looking good. That's looking good. So, anyways, we're gonna talk about it. March Madness. How y'all feel about the Gonzaga and Baylor game?
Thought it was. Well, let's go first because it's not. I'll go first. Okay. No one says anything. I'll go first. So
speak your piece, brother.
I won't lie. I did not expect what it was. I don't think. Well, I think a lot of people knew that one of two things was going to happen. Gonzaga was going to win the game. They're going to have a perfect season. They're going to be the sixth team to do so, joining a list of great teams. I think the last team to do it might have been Indiana Hoosiers, whatever the name is, back in 1970s. They would have been the sixth team to do so. That is one thing that could have happened. The other thing that could have happened is that Baylor could have won. They win their first ever championship, and they become the second team to win the NCAA championship. So that's two things that could have happened right there. But I'm thinking a lot of people are probably rooting for the underdog, Baylor, and they got their wish. And Baylor just went out there. They started out strong. They really never let Gonzaga get in their groove at all. I remember at one point in time the game just started, and I'm preoccupied doing some homework and some other stuff. And then 5 minutes into the game, I look at the score, just thinking, okay, this is going to be a close one. No one's really going to get out, too hot, too early, or do any of that stuff. And then I look up at the scoreboard, and it's 16-4 in Baylor's favor. I'm like, how did this happen? There's no way. And then after I went on, I saw a little bit of the highlights. I was like, wow, this is Baylor just got out hot early. They made their shot. On the defensive side, they just stymied them so much. They threw Gonzaga off their game pretty early, and then they just took it the rest of the way there. That Gonzaga just never got out to the start that they needed, and then it's pretty much game over.
Well, I see it. The fact that they struggled with UCLA should have told you right then and there they was going to lose against Baylor. Because if you saw Baylor in Houston, that wasn't even I watched the game. And I just remember because the homies was like, oh, Houston go win, Houston go win. And I was just sitting there watching. I was just like, wow, like, okay. I don't know so much about that because Baylor was really in there. But the fact that they struggled so much with UCLA and that it came down to a prayer shot just shows you the length of how much. Like, I bet them boys was in it, but they just that thing of, are we going undefeated? I think it got to a little bit their heads a little bit. But at the same time, I mean, Baylor is a tough opponent. They came to play, and they deserved it. They earned that win.
I agree. And Gonzaga, they were really just outmatched physically and with the effort. Like, I feel like they just never really played a team that was as proficient as Baylor was. They were moving too fast for Gonzaga, I feel like.
Top tier. Basically. That's what I want to say. Top tier.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I would say this, it's very difficult to be perfect. It's very difficult. And so I think that sometimes you got to lose a game in order to win it all. And I know that it kind of doesn't, make sense, but I watch a lot of anime, and in the anime that I watch, the main hero protagonist of the series, they have to lose in order to win. And Gonzaga, they've gone throughout this whole season, they haven't lost. They haven't known what it's like to lose, and then they get to the championship, and then they're facing a lot of they face a lot of good opponents. Well, not really up until like UCLA, and that was a tough game for them. But I think that for a team like Gonzaga, sometimes you can learn a lot of important things in your defeats than you can in your victories, because all they knew was winning. And like UCLA, here's the thing: they only had 2 teams up until you know they only had like another team besides UCLA once they got to them that had a 10 point, or they had less than a 10 point victory against another team. So every other team that they faced going into UCLA, they basically blew them out by 10 points or more. So that's just how dominant of a team Gonzaga was. But then, whenever the going got tough, it just went right past. So sometimes you got to know what it is like to lose, and they didn't know what it was like to lose, and so I think that part of that could have maybe helped, but we're past that, and Baylor is your 2021 NCAA championship champions.
I mean, and yeah, it's like I'm looking up some stats. So we got for the field goal percentage for Baylor, we got 44.8, and the field goal percentage for Gonzaga is 51.9. So Gonzaga put up a good fight. They was making their shots. They was doing what they needed to do. But
20. Yeah, they were up by 20, and then just
They choked. That's all it was. They choked. We trying to go all
they did
around.
not
We
know
trying to
how to
go all
hold
around
on
the
to
court.
the
They
ball.
choked.
They had 14 turnovers in the whole game. That was a big difference between all the other teams that they played. Baylor is a tough opponent. That's always most of them guys like, come on now. If you forcing 14 turnovers against an undefeated team in a championship game, that is really tough to do. Whether that's in college, professional, it doesn't matter. Like to get that many turnovers in a game, that just goes to the testament of the defense of Baylor and how well they was really prepared for Gonzaga.
Yeah, and what was I'd also like to know the stats on like how much did Baylor out rebound Gonzaga?
Oh, Baylor had 38 rebounds. Gonzaga had 22.
Okay, yeah. Rebounds,
So
turnovers. If you're shooting, better than the other team, and like you still win the way that Baylor did, it's gonna be turnovers and rebounds all day and all night.
the thing also that Baylor had was their 3-point shot.
Yep.
They literally shot over the 3-point, over 40% from 3-point. Gonzaga only 20%. And that right there just goes to show you how much and it's funny because I watched the UCLA Gonzaga game. They were shooting threes like it was nothing. Like, and then even then, if you saw the Baylor game with who was they playing? Houston, the main shot they were shooting was 3-point. So that really helped them and saved them out a lot. So that just goes 3-point shot was on point. That draining them.
Yep. I think it would be a good time for perhaps a commercial break.
All right. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. So stay tuned.
Traditions are not made overnight. They are created through a legacy of excellence and a commitment to something much greater. For more than 135 years, Prairie View A&M University has provided students with a strong academic foundation, a unique college experience, and the opportunity to make their mark on the world. This is a place where friendships are formed, discoveries are made, and dreams are realized. This is Prairie View A&M University. Our tradition, your opportunity.
We are back with another segment of Fourth and Goal. So I have a question for y'all. I know some of y'all is into the basketball and the NBA. How do you feel about KD returning back to the Nets after a 23 game without him?
Wasn't we just talking about super teams last week?
Yes, we was, and that is
I mean,
look,
super team. Like,
But he scored. Think about this for a minute. Like, let's look at the stats for a minute in that game. He
go
scored
ahead.
17 points. I'm gonna put you on game right now. He scored 17 points off the bench. When has KD ever been on the bench? Off the bench, did not miss a single shot. That boy has been putting in work. So yeah, they're still super stacked because they got, you feel me, they got LaMarcus Aldridge, and then they got Blake Griffin. But at the end of the day, KD, that's his team. That's KD's team.
No, I feel you, and at the same time, I feel like he also had a point to prove. Because I mean, with that, it's not like without him that they was like failing, that they was sinking. You know, some people saying that they was fine without him. So now that he came back, he had to let them know, like, okay, this is what I'm on. This is what I can do. Y'all was cool without me, but nah, this on me.
Eric, you want to go?
Like, you got something to say? What you thinking?
I got you. You go ahead, Worthington. I'll go after you.
Well, I mean, I will say it this way. It is still KD's team. I mean, how much of his team it is, like, I'm kind of looking at this like percentage wise. Maybe like the Brooklyn Nets are like 40% KD, and the other 30 is like Kyrie. The other 30% is James Harden. I do understand that at the end of the day, that is his team. Like he was the one. He was the main person that I believe was the Brooklyn Nets were, trying to get. And as I said, 17 points, perfect on his field goal, 5 for 5 or however it was. But he did play a very good, solid game coming back and coming off the bench. I think that was the right move by head coach Steve Nash, just trying to limit his minutes so that way it's not as if he's trying to get injured again or just trying to have something else pop up. I mean, we've seen what happened in the finals whenever it was Golden State Warriors versus KD tried to come back maybe a little too early, trying to please the fans, or thinking, oh, KD's soft, KD's this, KD's that. No, at the end of the day, it's all about winning the championship. And it doesn't matter when you come back, as long as you come back and you come back strong and you come back and you are prepared to win it all. And I think that's what KD showed. He's never left. I mean, he's always been, that guy you can always trust to have a good game. And I think that sometimes we kind of forget, the type of players that we're seeing. Like I'll admit, sometimes when I look at KD and like he hasn't played for, like you said, 23 games, I'm thinking, okay, well he's got to be rusty. Like he's gonna be, messing up shots. He's not gonna know what to do. He'll be like a baby deer, just out of the womb on its hind legs. He came out strong. He came out prepared. He did come off the bench, but you wouldn't have, thought it. I mean, you would say like, oh, 17 points, only 17 points. But that was an amazing game he had. He was perfect on all his field goals. He showed that he is not, hurt or injured or sore or anything like that. He is back.
That is definitely true. KD is definitely back with the support system with Kyrie. James Harden didn't play in last night's game, and that's okay. I'm not going to speak upon on that. But, you still have other guys like LaMarcus Aldridge who came out with 24 points. Kyrie Irving had 22 points. Blake Griffin had 10 points. So these guys are producing. With KD coming back into the fold, that's just making it an even better opportunity for them to honestly go to the NBA championship. And they might run the East.
But see, that's kind of like the thing. Like when we was talking about, like this is like the Nets. That's like an equally yoked team. Everybody holds their weight, and I'm not trying to, I know this is your team, and I'm not trying to go back to them. When it goes to the Lakers, they are not equally yoked. Like they usually have that one superstar player, and then they have then the others on the side. So now that you got LeBron or whatever who wasn't there, it's all like, oh, they're scrambling. What's going on? As opposed to the Nets. They could lose KD for a little minute and still be good because everybody holding their own. And then to me, it's just shows.
The Nets got Kyrie, they got Blake Griffin,
but it's
Marcus
regardless.
Aldridge.
The point is, you got to hold your own. it shouldn't take for somebody like if your main player or your star quote unquote leaves, y'all shouldn't be sinking. Regardless of who you got on your team, y'all should all be able to hold your own.
I'm gonna say this. So I'm gonna read you the points of everybody that was on the bench. That's not technically a star.
Okay, go ahead.
We got Johnson with 6 points, Clayston with 2 points, Perry with 6 points, Luan Cabaret with 6 points, and I think the highest one that's on the bench with 12. So then we go up to the starters. We got 24, 22, 14, 11, 9, 17, 10. These are the stars. Look at what they're doing. Look, at the same time, I hear what you're saying, but they're putting it all on their stars to make them better. So, yes, with KD gone, you still got Kyrie, James Harden, even though he didn't play, Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge. You still got a stack full. Their first 5 is all stars. That's literally like Team USA going up against any team. And when we have the Olympics, like, it's just, you expect that. So, like, with the Lakers, yeah, LeBron's hurt. That's kind of a downfall. You know, we got Anthony Davis hurt. That's a downfall, but he's coming back. We just signed Andre Drummond, so that's another big man on campus that we got there getting them rebounds. So, I mean, at the same time, we really are going to come together. But the Nets, with KD coming back, that just made the East a very dangerous place.
No doubt on that one. No.
See how nice that looks.
Yep. I have a feeling that people have already said this, but it's kind of like the Nets are the Monsters in NBA and Space Jam. They're just how can you beat them? They have an amazing wealth of on that starting for them and on the bench, and it really is just like, how can you beat them? You can't. And that we'll see the Nets, maybe the Lakers if LeBron and AD are healthy, and we'll see them in the finals. And whatever happens, happens. We kind of feel like it's championship or bust for the Nets. And if they win, well, that's good for them. If they lose, you just know that Stephen A., Skip, Shannon, talking heads are just going to have a field day with
I would just like to say, with KD coming back, you know, like y'all just said, the Nets have a better chance at making it further. They are going to make it far regardless, but with KD on the court with them, it just makes it easier for them to just make it as far to championships and possibly even win it. So.
They still got to worry about the Sixers and the Bucks. No, don't count the East out. Yeah, you still got the Sixers and the Bucks.
I don't know. The Nets is number 1 in the Eastern Conference. I don't know, but
I mean, anything could happen. Again, like we just saw, anybody could choke. But I mean, we're not. We're not even gonna put it out there.
Like KD had played 19 minutes in that game yesterday with 17 points. Went 5 for 5. I don't know. With KD on the court with them.
That being said, we're gonna take a quick commercial break.
It all comes down to the playoffs.
It come down to the playoffs. That is true, because, like we said,
it will down to the.
I mean, but we gonna see. I mean, a lot of people choke. A lot of people choke. That is what the playoffs are for, is to weed out the weak, get the best players and the best teams against each other to see who's the most important, the best team in the league at that year. And so far, everybody putting their money on the Nets, which is cool. That's all cool, because I remember a time where everybody put their money on the Clippers last year to win. And look what happened. Blew a 3-1 lead. So, I mean, it's a tough game. Everybody got different opinions. Everybody got different perspectives. But this is going to be a very interesting playoffs this season, most definitely, with all these different trades and all these different stars coming together and being on different teams and playing together. This is definitely going to be an exciting playoffs. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we're going to come back and discuss what's really going on with Houston. I mean, the college, the NFL, and NBA, all this and more. We are back with our last section of Fourth and Goal. So, you guys are from Texas. What's going on with Houston? What's up with the sports? We got the Texans, that Deshaun Watson story going on, which is a crazy story, which I honestly, my personal opinion, I think they lying just to keep him here because he already expressed he didn't want to be here no more. And I don't blame him. Like, if you look at the Texans seasons for the past couple seasons, it just seems like them boys don't really want to play. And to me, it's like you getting paid all that money to really just show out there and not really take the game serious when there's many other people who work hard and don't even get to see it. It's like a good 1% that actually make it to the NFL from college. Like, that is not an easy thing to get into. Like, it is actually very hard. So for you to take that knowledge of that and to really seem like you don't care is something that's really, really that I used to play football. So for me, that touches hard for me. I can't stand to see a team in the same thing that just want to continue to act like they don't want to be serious or they just want to play. And J.J. Watt expressed it. One of the reasons why he's not with the Cardinals, and it's like I feel like Deshaun Watson, he's such a great player that he doesn't need that energy around him. He needs to go to a team that's actually going to help him produce more and actually get him into more playoffs because he is one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Well, I'm from Dallas, so there's really not any of my business. But I do agree with you on that, though.
Back situation when y'all just got done with y'all's and barely got done with y'all's.
Okay, but at least we're consistently struggling.
Y'all are
so
consistently
don't come over here. So don't come over here with that. We consistently struggling. We have a brand and we're sticking to it.
Is by the way.
I'm seeing a Dallas versus Houston thing going on right now.
They ain't no beef. They ain't no competition. We just, you just a little bit cleaner. Again, like I said, we're consistently struggling. You know what you don't get with us. We still America's team. We still America's team. It is what it is. We still bringing that money. We may not be winning, but we still bringing that money.
Right.
Y'all bring that money in, because Texas loves football. Y'all live and breathe football. It's either God, barbecue, football.
That's not but Texas love the Cowboys. We ain't say nothing about the Texans.
Look, I've been here for 3 years. I've been in Texas for 3 years, and I've been a Cowboys fan forever, though. But I will say out of like this whole time I've been here, I don't see no Texas people ever say I'm a Texans fan. I hear either they're Saints fans or Cowboys fans. I don't hear nothing about nobody's Texans.
And that's the thing. Like my mama, she's from Barbados. She came over here. She's obsessed with the Cowboys. Like Cowboys, everything. Ain't nobody worried about what the Texans got going on. You know, no disrespect, but
yeah, I live in California, but I still ride for my Cowboys. I do. I just learned. I don't know why I have a love for the Cowboys, but those California teams.
Well, shoot, I mean, let's go
to California teams now. Hold on. Okay, wait, what we talking about? We got the Rams, we got the Chargers. We did have the Raiders, but they wouldn't take.
Okay, I used to. So my family are Niners fans. My family's actually Niners fans mixed with Redskin fans. I don't know where the Redskins comes from. I wasn't born when they chose that team. So
actually, Washington football team.
Oh, yeah,
I was just saying Washington football team.
You're right. It is a Washington football team. But I'll let them have it. But the Niners, like, you know, I give the 49ers, they're a hit and miss. I feel like they don't. I'm not in their conferences with them to listen to them, but I feel like they don't agree all in one collective.
She said, okay, cool.
Okay. So I don't. Huh? Okay, I'm gonna just go right now because I was dealing with internet problems and I was trying to go off, but
go on, talk about the Texans.
All right, talk your mess.
Here's the thing about the Houston Texans. They have problems. They really did. Here's the thing. We started I'm not talking about last season. I'm talking the year before last season when we had a 24-0 lead against the Chiefs. From there, that is where we met our demise because Bill O'Brien is a trash head coach. He is the reason why we started this year 0-5 or something like that. We didn't really have the opportunity to win a game. We have one of the best quarterbacks in the whole National Football League, and we can barely even win a game. I read this interesting stat the other day about how Deshaun Watson was only the fourth quarterback in the whole entire history of the NFL to have, like, you know, something to do with touchdowns, something to do with throwing the football or something. I don't know. But it was one of the fourth quarterbacks to do that. The three other quarterbacks, Joe Montana, Drew Brees, some other guy, but they all ended the season winning a Super Bowl. And what do we get for our troubles? Nothing. We don't even have first-round picks because of Bill O'Brien. We gave them all away. We just shipped them off to Dolphins or whoever was just like hoping to get it. We don't have anything to show for this cruddy season. We're 4-12. We should have one of the top picks in the draft this year, but we don't. How is that possible? We sign all these crappy players to replace DeAndre Hopkins. You can't replace DeAndre Hopkins. Give him the money. What are we doing? I don't know what we're doing because the Texans are trash. That is what is happening right now. I don't even know if you guys can really hear me while I'm doing this rant.
Oh, no, we can hear you.
It
sounds like somebody gets nervous.
It is mind-boggling how we ended up in this situation. We went from first to last. Not first to go into the Super Bowl, which we should have done this year, but no, we kept on with Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien, he's not going to do anything. He never did anything with the Texans whatsoever. And I feel like I'm going...
Are you guys?
I think I should just stop. No.
You sound very frustrated.
You need to be the coach.
Right. I hope Bill O'Brien is watching this because you need to get hired.
Right.
I'm just a simple man with a simple opinion, and that was that.
So how would you fix it? How would you fix the situation?
How would I fix it?
If you was in control, how would you fix it?
Here's how I would fix the situation. One of the first things that I would have done in the offseason, you tell Deshaun Watson who you're hiring. You're already on a rocky relationship with him. I'm not talking about the allegations. That is something else. But I'm talking about the situation where we hired a GM and Nick Caserio. I believe he is the new GM or whatever for the Texans. But you tell this man, because he is going to be your quarterback for the future. You want to do whatever you can to make him happy. You don't want to make him not happy. You want to make sure that everything is smooth and calm and relaxed as it possibly can. And what do? You don't tell him anything. You don't tell this man, okay, I'm going to get this person. No, you don't tell him anything. You think that, oh, we don't have to tell you anything. He is your future. You think that you want to get somewhere? You need his permission. He's already shown that he's one of the top NFL quarterbacks, and you think that you don't have to, go through him. I think that sometimes, when you're this good and you're on a bad team, heck, they could have not had Deshaun Watson put anyone in, and they could have gone 0-16. Those 4 wins were probably very hard-fought wins. And the only way that we got those 4 wins was because of Deshaun Watson. Take him out, we get nothing. So all this talk about, oh, we're not going – heck, I wish Deshaun Watson – and I love Deshaun Watson for the Houston Texans. Sometimes I'm just like, ship him out. Like, get him out here for his own good. I was sad whenever James Harden left the Rockets. I really was. But you know what? He was right. He was right. The Houston Texans are now 14th in the West. They are a terrible, horrible team. But it's just like can't do anything with pieces that just don't work. And now he's off in a better position. I hope for the best for Deshaun Watson. I want him to get a Super Bowl ring. I want to see him happy. He can't be happy on the Texans. It's just not possible. I don't think that there's any, universe out there where Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans just work. It's just not possible anymore. And so I don't even care if he's traded, to the Jacksonville Jaguars. It could be anyone in the AFC South. I don't care. He could be, he could be put in to the Colts. He could be put into the Jacksonville Jaguars. He could even be put into the Titans. I don't care. Heck, you know what? If the whole Dak Prescott thing didn't work out and Dak Prescott was going to be traded away or was signing off to another team in free agency, you know what I would have liked to see? How about Deshaun Watson to the Cowboys? Yes, I'm admitting it. The Cowboys. Because right now they seem like a far better run or organization. And yes, that includes Jerry Jones. I can't believe that I'm saying this. But right now, they seem like a far better run organization than the Texans because it's Houston sports. I don't know what it is. Here's a stat. I believe that this is an accurate stat. I don't know. Someone will probably have to fact check me. And if you do, good. But I'm just going to ramble off with what I think. A year ago, or maybe it was 2 years ago, the Houston Rockets were perennial title contenders. The Houston Texans were a rising star along with the Chiefs and the Ravens and the AFC. And the Astros, before we found out that they cheated and did all that garbage banging and, stealing the signs, before they were the good guys, they were world title contenders. And where are we at now? Astros, they cheated their way. James Harden and the Rockets implode. The Houston Texans and Deshaun Watson, we're bottom of the AFC. We're probably even worse than the Jaguars. That should say something. That should mean something. So right now, whenever it comes to Houston sports, we are trash. We are terrible. We are garbage. We don't deserve anything right now. I knew that this day would come, but I didn't know that it would come like this. And it really pains me. I watch, and I support Houston sports. Heck, I didn't even get to soccer. But none of y'all watch soccer, so I don't know.
I guess the more of the story is that Houston sports is definitely trash right now. So I guess that's a great ending point.
I mean, yes. Oh, yes. We probably should end. There's way too much, but you'll get the point.
Well, that's all the time we got. Catch us next Tuesday for what's happening on the hills. I'm your host, Drew Brewer, with my host Erica Baez, Andre Williams, and Worthington Moore. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll catch you on Tuesday. Peace out.
Peace.